felt that the drama really means nothing to me. I ride by and blow your brains out. There's no time to cock it, no way you can stop it when niggas.
Cocksucker, this ain't rap, check my rap sheet. I feed you to the rats with peanut butter on your feet. 44 Bulldog, get money, hustle hard.
What's good, y'all? Fisk Vegas, the hardest voice of sports. Welcome to the Fire Rank. You get online and you get lined up. You understand me? Today's victim, my next target, is Carson Wentz. And all the Eagle fans that overpraise him for no reason. Listen, understand something. I'm not impressed. Stop giving Carson Wentz extra credit. Stop giving him cookies. Stop praising him for doing his job. Carson Wentz gets paid $30 to $33 million a season. He's supposed to win when his talent gets hurt. If this was a first-year quarterback or second-year quarterback who had to deal with the injuries that Carson Wentz had to deal with, and he went out there and he performed, okay, fine. But this is a guy, Carson Wentz, who's going into his 5th season? This is the guy Carson Wentz is on his 2nd contract? And now we want to give him extra credit for performing when the talent around him isn't up to par? Nah, life don't work like that. We don't give Russell Wilson extra credit when he out there throwing to nobodies. That man best receiver is Tyler Lockett. Bums at running backs. Always hurt. I don't know who his tight ends are. Russell Wilson been putting up numbers with bums for years. I watched Aaron Rodgers take a 5th string wide receiver and put him at running back and go on a playoff run. And I watched Tom Brady win a Super Bowl without Gronk. The same Super Bowl that Tom Brady lost to the Eagles, I watched him lose his number 1 receiver in Brandon Cooks and still put up 500 yards. There's other quarterbacks who overcome adversity. There's other quarterbacks who do other things. People act like Carson Wentz is the first quarterback in the history of the planet to lose a wide receiver or two and still have to win games. As far as I'm concerned, who cares? For real, who cares about Carson Wentz's last 4 games? Because they came against the Redskins. They're not good. Did the Redskins make the playoffs? They came against the Giants twice. Did the Giants make the playoffs? Oh wait, Dallas. He beat Dallas at home. Everybody, let's give a round of applause for Carson Wentz for beating Dallas at home. Carson Wentz at home beat Dallas. Whoop-de-doo. Those were his last 4 games. He throws 7 touchdowns and no interceptions in 4 games. What, you want a cookie? Do you want a cookie? I'm not impressed, man. I'm not impressed. Lamar Jackson won an MVP thrown to a lot less. You understand that Dallas Goedert is a beast, right? Zach Ertz is a beast, right? Miles Sanders is a beast. All you Eagle fans keep talking about is how great Miles Sanders is. Oh, Miles Sanders is Saquon Barkley. He's the next Saquon Barkley. Miles Sanders had 500 yards on the ground. In the air. Everybody keeps talking about Carson Wentz didn't have a 500-yard receiver, right? Well, his tight end caught 900. His other tight end caught 600. Miles Sanders, his running back, had 509. Alshon Jeffrey in 10 games had 490. Aguilar in 11 games had 363. Greg Ward came in and had 254 in 7 games. The point I'm trying to make to you is this. You act like Carson Wentz didn't have a 500-yard receiver. Well, maybe if any of them wide receivers played 16 games, they would have had 500 yards. Y'all are over here creating stat numbers. You're over here creating narratives that don't exist. Now, had one of these dudes played 16 games and couldn't get 500 yards, then we'd be talking. But this dude had 2 tight ends and a stud running back. He had 2 stud running backs. He had 2 stud tight ends, a stud running back, and a top 5 offensive line. And I'm supposed to give him extra credit for winning 4 games against the Cowboys, Giants, and Redskins? Cut it out, man. This is the last 4 games of Carson Wentz are some of the most overrated, overblown, overpraised games I've ever seen in my life. What Nick Foles did 2 years ago was better. When Carson Wentz stunk up the joint, remember that Carson Wentz stunk up the joint, blew a 17-point lead to Cam Newton, got annihilated by the Saints. You remember that? It got embarrassed by Dak Bortles twice. Remember 2018? Remember 2018 Carson Wentz, that trash, that filth, that bum that stunk up the joint all year 2018? Yeah, that guy. When he got hurt, my man Nick Foles came in, beat the Rams, who went to the Super Bowl that year. He went to LA and beat the Rams. Came home, threw 4 touchdowns, 471 yards at home versus Deshaun Watson, and then went on the road and beat the Redskins. And then proceeded to go and beat Chicago in a playoff game. That was a better run than what Carson Wentz had. Whose 4 games were more impressive? Carson Wentz in his lack of receivers, because God knows Wentz has everything else. He had a running back, an offensive line, 2 tight ends. He has everything on the planet except for wide receivers. So what was more impressive? Beating the Giants twice, the Redskins and the Cowboys, or beating the NFC Championship winning Rams, Houston with Deshaun Watson, and the Redskins? What was more impressive? I'll let y'all be the judge. Going to Chicago and winning a playoff game. And I don't even want to bring up the playoffs, something that Carson Wentz don't know nothing about. Last time I saw Carson Wentz in the playoffs, he was either rooting for Nick Foles or he was nursing his little headache that Jadeveon Clowney gave him. The dude is soft as cotton tissue, man. He baby wiped soft. I seen baby food go down harder than him, man. Carson Wentz ain't the answer. He the 3rd best quarterback in the NFC East. He's not a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I can name 7 quarterbacks in the NFC alone who are better than Carson Wentz. I can name 7 right now. Let's start with the South. Breeze, Winston, and Matt Ryan are better than him in the South. In the North, Kirk Cousins is better than him. In the East, Daniel Jones and Dak Bortles are better than him. And out West, Russell Wilson's better than him. And I ain't even mentioned Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers because I think they're old and washed. But I'm sure there's a lot of y'all watching this video that will probably put Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady ahead of him. And then when we go out to the AFC, we know Mahomes is better. We know Lamar's better. We know my man Watson is better. So what we really talking about? I'm trying to wrap my mind around what's so special about Carson Wentz. This guy had 1 good year, y'all. 1. And guess what happened? He got hurt. The 1 good year this man had, he got hurt, and his backup came in and won the Super Bowl for them. Then the next year, he got hurt again. His backup came in, took him to a playoff run in the 2nd round. Last year, he got hurt in a playoff game, but Nick Foles wasn't there to save him. So you know what they do? They go out there and they draft Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round. You don't draft a quarterback in the 2nd round if you have faith in the quarterback you have now. I'm willing to bet my whole YouTube check that if Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie can go back in an 85 DeLorean, if we called Doc Brown right now and got some plutonium and went back in time in that 85 DeLorean, they wouldn't have gave Carson Wentz that extension. They would have made him play out the contract. And guess what? Had he gotten hurt, there would have been no extension. He'd be in Dak Bortles territory getting franchise tagged right now had he not gotten that extension. And they still would have drafted Jalen Hurts. He wouldn't even be a part of the Eagles' future if they didn't give him that extension. Because the minute he got hurt in that playoff game, they would have washed their hands with him. They would have franchise tagged him. They would have drafted Jalen Hurts and been able to phase his little overrated self out within the year. He'd be in Dak land right now. So what we talking about? Carson Wentz. This man fragile. That's why his name Wheelchair Wentz. Dak had a better year than him. Daniel Jones. You want to talk about a guy who has no weapons around him? My guy Daniel Jones with no Saquon Barkley, no Sterling Shepard, no Evan Ingram, and not an offensive line to speak of is out there throwing 4 touchdown games. This guy, Daniel Jones' best weapon on the entire field was a 5th round rookie receiver. Ain't nobody say nothing. Russell Wilson out here putting up numbers the last 3 or 4 years when his best wide receiver's name is Tyler Lockett or Curse because Baldwin was always hurt. Ain't nobody say nothing. Oh, no. My guy, Andrew Luck, best wide receiver. The only weapon my man Andrew Luck had his entire career was T.Y. Hilton. Ain't nobody say nothing. But now Carson Wentz want to come along, beat 4 trash teams to make a bogus playoff run. Oh, I'm sorry, no. It wasn't a playoff run because he got eliminated. He beat 4 teams to win it, to make a division run. And y'all want to put him in the top 5? Huh? Every quarterback I named could have did the same thing that Wentz did. Mahomes, he could have did it. Lamar could have did it. Lamar Jackson, let me ask y'all a question. Who would y'all have ever throw to? Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, or Miles Sanders, right? Who would you ever throw to? Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, and Miles Sanders? Or Mark Andrews, Hollywood Brown, and Hayden Hurst? It's not even close. Zach Ertz is better than everybody on that list. Zach Ertz is a Hall of Famer. Miles Sanders is better than Mark Ingram. If Howie Roseman called Baltimore right now, they're not saying no for a trade for Ingram. If they say, yo, we'll give you Miles Sanders for Mark Ingram, they're not saying no to that trade. This dude, Dallas Goedert, has 607 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's better than Hollywood Brown. That's double of Hayden Hurst. That's double Willie Snead. That's double of Boykins. No, that's triple Boykins. His backup tight end had a better year than everybody on the Ravens not named Mark Andrews, and their quarterback won MVP. So miss me with all this freaking Carson Wentz bubblegum BS. I ain't got time for it, man. Y'all know what to do, man. Hey, yo, Wentz, come to the front, face forward, put a smile on your face, and take these shots.